All right, we are live. Good evening, good night, whatever time of the day it is for you. But yeah, in a little while, I am going to try out the Google Fi 7-day free trial. So, um, as of today, a line would be reintroduced to one of my phones, um, bringing the Google Fi um, service back into my rotation of devices. So I wanted to kind of talk about that to get people up to date for those that want to try Google Fi. And it doesn't shock me that at this point, Google Fi is starting to do what other carriers are doing. I shouldn't say carriers because they don't have their own network. They use T-Mobile now, but um, how T-Mobile has a network pass and it's like 90 days. I think T-Mobile's trial is the biggest that anyone could actually try or try out because they give you 90 days, or I don't know if it's still the same for that. Um, so I'll wait till more people come in for the live stream, but before I start going into details about the 7-day free trial that Google Fi is doing. But as I was saying, T-Mobile has the biggest, or had the biggest. I gotta look into it, see if they still have it. Um, if it's still, right now I'm gonna check and make sure that the live stream is working properly. So let me take this phone. Take this phone off the Wi-Fi. There's like so many different ones on Wi-Fi. So let me just kind of like close out the sounds. I don't want to hear a repeat of myself talking, but I will switch to my vlog account so I can just go in there for a sec. If you're joining in, say what's up, say hi, smash the like button because that truly does help. And yeah, just tell me where you're from or what you're doing. That's weird. I'll go like this and like the camera adjusts. I really gotta I gotta see if there's any type of setting that fixes that issue. I just want to make sure that I'm able to be seen. So yeah, okay. The live stream's looking okay. Just waiting for more people to come in. I don't know. Is someone else live tonight right now? I didn't even think to check or to look to see if someone else was live in the community. So let me just go ahead and take a look real quick. I even spelt the freaking title wrong. I forgot to put the L at the end of trial. So it's like 7-day Tria. Oh my God, man. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Holy Jeebus. Besides myself, is anyone live? No, I don't see anybody else being live. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not cutting into anybody's time before I start going over the whole Google Fi trial. For those people that want to know, what's up, Barry Cell? Welcome in. I'm going to be talking about the Google Fi 7-day trial and how that works here in a little bit. As I was saying before, though, I think out of all the carriers, T-Mobile, I don't know if they still have it or it's no longer available, but they had the biggest free trial that anybody could have taken advantage of because it was the network pass that was 90 days. So that's 3 months of T-Mobile service without having to pay. And yeah, I've tried it out. I tried the network pass on T-Mobile, and obviously it was solid because Google Fi is pretty solid in my city, and so is Boost Mobile Legacy, which uses T-Mobile rather than AT&T. That's pretty solid here too as well. Um, you had it. Yeah, I think the only problem with Google Fi that I really find them to be very frustrating is, well, I mean, I'll get into that a little bit later. I'll get into that later, so there's more to talk about in this live stream. I'm going to go ahead. It's been like 4 minutes. Anyone else can watch the replay to catch the actual details of it. But this is from How to Geek. So they're the ones that pretty much posted this earlier today. But it says if you're looking for alternatives to traditional carriers, Google Fi is probably one of the best options. So let's see why they say that. Google is so confident of that, or so confident of it that sorry about that. They're so confident of it that it'll now let you try it out for free, right? And then there's that. Then it's so funny. There's an ad for T-Mobile, 4 lines for $25. That's hilarious. That really is hilarious. Google has announced that it's testing a trial that will let people try out Google Fi service for up to 7 days. Once you sign up, you can download a Fi eSIM to your smartphone, and that's it. You'll get unlimited calls, text, spam call blocking, and built-in VPN, as well as, of course, unlimited data, full speed until you reach 10 gigabytes of data. So once you pass 10 gigabytes of data, you will be throttled for the rest of the 7 days. So I really like, if someone wants to try this, 1 or 2 speed tests on Ookla, maybe like one NPerf benchmark test, and that's it. And the rest of it you can use for like social media and stuff. Because if you be speed testing like every 5 minutes throughout the entire day for like 4 days, you'll burn that 10 gigs pretty quick. It says if you're happy with the service, after 7 days, Fi will start charging you a $50 a month for the Simply Unlimited plan. And if you don't like it, you just cancel the service before the 7-day period ends, and you're golden. It's a great way to let people experience what the service is like and whether it can fit their needs before committing to long-term relationships with the network provider. Other carriers like T-Mobile have rolled out similar trials through initiatives like Network Pass. In the case of Fi, not being a traditional carrier but an MVNO, might need to try harder to convince potential customers, and this is a great way to do so. No, that is not a great way to do so, and I'm going to explain why here in a little bit about Google Fi. Why I've had frustrations with them. It's so much, not so much as their network connectivity. I've never really had a problem with that, but it's their approach to the mobile service game, and I'm gonna call them out on it. I mean, I still am a big backer of Google Fi. I really do feel like there's a lot of potential with the company itself to really just kind of like launch. If they're wondering why people aren't biting, then I'm gonna lay out a lot of the big reasons why they're not. And you know what? Like, I don't know when the next time is that they're going to renegotiate their deal with T-Mobile to have access to T-Mobile's network. But hopefully it's in the next couple of years that they get a chance to renegotiate the deal, because this is the only way that Fi is ever going to take off and be like, acceptable to a lot of people out there, right? Because today, one of the biggest problems with not with Google Fi, but just it for all of us, right? Whether and I'm not here to blame which politician did it or whatever. I don't care. I'm not really on live to talk politics, but we can all agree like inflation is really squeezing us like really bad, right? Gas, groceries, a lot of things went up in price that before we were just like, it wasn't a concern before, until now you start seeing that the price has doubled or even tripled what it used to be. And so this is why companies like Boost Infinite and MobileX are starting to get looked at, along with companies like Red Pocket and Tello and all those, right? Because people are really trying to look into saving money as much as possible. And like with Boost Infinite, right, it's $25, and some odd weird reason, which I'm not really going to complain about, but their taxes and fees, because their taxes and fees are not included with Boost Infinite, but taxes and fees are very low. Like the plan is $25, and then I got to pay taxes and fees, and my bill is $25.34, right? So taxes and fees for me is 34 cents. That's what I'm paying in taxes and fees, right? Same thing with Boost One, which is the newer Boost mobile prepaid side that uses AT&T. Same thing with that one. That one is $25.34 as well. MobileX is $25 for unlimited talk and text, and then 30 gigabytes of high-speed data before throttled. And they're $25 a month, but their taxes and fees is like traditional taxes and fees, right? So if it's $25, I'm looking like at $28, $29 and some change. So I don't know what Boost is doing differently, but maybe that's for another live stream to talk about. But I mean, people are trying them, right? Like I run a Facebook group about Boost Infinite, and people come inside and they give their opinions, perspectives about Boost Infinite. But the one thing that most of them have in common when they do kind of post in there and they kind of talk about, okay, this is the deal and this is why I'm leaving them, yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. The one thing that they all have in common is that they came to Boost Infinite to try them because the pricing is $25. That is why. So obviously today, a lot of customers, a lot of consumers are looking to have um, a cheaper phone bill. This is kind of the reason why that even those people that did jump on Boost Infinite, a lot of the uh, the telecom nerds out there who throw in there, yeah, Boost Infinite, but it's 30 gigabytes of high speed data, and then you're slowed down. This is why a lot of customers don't really care about that type of stuff, right? If they can get their bill down to just $25, having a cap that caps your high speed, which some people say there isn't a cap on Boost Infinite, by the way. Some said they've gone beyond 30 gigs and they're still at normal speeds. They haven't been slowed down to like 128 kilobits per second. So I don't know. But people are willing to put up with that as long as their phone bills are cheap. Yeah, Mint is also another option too. Richie A, thanks for being in here and thanks for dropping that piece because I wouldn't have mentioned them. But yeah, Mint, and you know what? I forgot to talk about them never mind. I wasn't even, yeah, they are a sponsor of the channel, but I wasn't really going to talk about them anyways. But anyhow, Mint is another option because, I mean, if you're going for the unlimited plan, which is also 30 gigs, it's like what's like $40? I don't remember. I don't remember their plans too specifically. I know the cheapest plan is $15, but that's not 30 gigs of priority data access and you're slowed down. But I mean they do have plans that are cheap and you're basically buying in bulk, so you can literally like obliterate having to worry about a phone bill for either the next 2 months after you sign up for service, or you can choose the next 6 months or 5 months actually when you sign up for service, or a year. I always tell people when it comes to Mint Mobile, and if you get a nice sizable tax return and you're going to go to Mint Mobile, might as well just get the annual subscription because then you don't have to worry about a phone bill for the rest of the year. Yeah, Divisible is running a deal for $25. I know there's some I forgot who it was. They told me what their YouTube handle name was because they've been chatting with me on Twitter and DMs talking about it. Because they were having an issue and like I was trying to help them out. Because one of the things with Boost Infinite too is like if you use an unlocked device and like when you put your SIM card in there, and if it doesn't connect you to data, like it shows like 5G, but there's an exclamation point where the bars would be at. There's an app in the Play Store that you do need to install that helps provision Boost Infinite on your unlocked device, and it's a Dish Carrier app. And you have to install that, and that'll fix that problem. Ricky, what's up, man? But but yeah, but going back to the regards of Mint, like usually I just tell people, like if you're getting a sizable tax refund or whatever, that would be like the best time to sign up with Mint and do an annual subscription with Mint, because then you don't got to worry about a phone bill for a whole year, right? So like everyone's trying to save money. That's the whole entire. I'm sorry, I've like ADHD ranted about this for like 4 or 5 minutes, but that is the biggest problem, and Barry said it earlier in the chat. The biggest problem with Google Fi is that they're expensive for what they're offering. So yes, with Google Fi, I mean, I'm still a big backer with them. Like I still think they have potential, but I'll get into things that I feel like that Google Fi should give to customers if they want to keep it at that price to make it where it's like worth it. But well, not really, because even if you added those things that I'm thinking about, it still wouldn't be worth it. Like at $65 for unlimited plus. But even their simply unlimited plan, they need to they need to configure something better. Pricing just needs to go down, which is why I'm hoping that they're smart enough to renegotiate their deal with T-Mobile down the road. And that's that. But so like right now with Fi, you sign up, if you go with their 5 Flex plan, I mean that's totally cool. That's totally fine, especially if you're just going to use Fi as like a backup line, right? because that's what some people do. Like some people will have like Verizon, but maybe they go to an area where Verizon is very weak, so they'll download they'll download an eSIM 5 Flex plan, and have T-Mobile access. Where in an area that T-Mobile actually does pretty good for getting on social media and text messaging and stuff like that. Um, they'll do that, right? As like a burner line. I mean, most phones today are coming with a combination of physical and eSIM, and even now, like with the recent update on the Pixels, even those are allowing multiple eSIM profiles to be on your device at the same time, instead of how it was before. It was only one eSIM, one physical SIM for DSDS. Of course, they won't have DSDA, and I'm not sure if the Pixel 8 will. I think it should have dual SIM, dual active, but I'll cross that road when I talk more about the Pixel 8. Yeah, they dropped the US mobile, which was a stupid mistake. It's pretty dumb that they were doing that. You know what I mean? Like they literally handed Boost Infinite like their selling point. That was one of the things, and one of the reasons why I advocated for Google Fi back in the day, like a lot more than what I do now, was because back then, and this was before the merger, you had Sprint, T-Mobile, and you had US Cellular. So you had the access of three networks, right? US Cellular has their own network. They're not an MVNO. So, and I've used it. Like I've gone to where my dad lives. My dad lives in the Midwest, and so US Cellular is prevalent there. And I've tried out US Cellular, but this was like before the launch of 5G. So I actually got to try their LTE, as well as LTE on T-Mobile and LTE on Sprint. And I love the fact of having a tri-network access. But then Sprint and T-Mobile merged together, and it made it a bi-network access. And then for some reason, Google Fi is like, they dropped US Cellular. And the only thing that I can think about, and I'm not saying that this is facts, so I don't want people to be like, yo, Tito said this and that's facts. No. But I honestly think that maybe Google Fi is kind of in the rut for money. And that's the reason why they dropped US Cellular's, because they can no longer pay them access fees to access US Cellular's network. And so to save money, they're strictly going on T-Mobile. And of course, they're going to go on T-Mobile over US Cellular because T-Mobile has a wider spread than US Cellular does, right? US Cellular is not sold here in Arizona. There's not a shop here you can walk in and get US Cellular service. So that's why I'm thinking they're doing that. And then you also have this that just recently came, which is the 7-day free trial. Kind of tells me that Google Fi is kind of hurting. Because their prices, with the 5 Flex, $20 for unlimited talk and text, and then $10 per gig, that's pretty high. If you compare the 5 Flex to Mobile X is a better deal. What's up, B-Tech? Mobile X is a better deal than Google Fi is with the pay-as-you-use, because with Mobile X, it's $4.95 for unlimited talk and text, and then per gig usage is like $2 and some change, right? So if you think about it, if you were to option a 1 gigabyte plan, because you're not a heavy data user, you can have a phone bill as low as $8.94. If you go to Google Fi and go to their Flex plan, you're already way over that $8 mark, because just to have unlimited talk and text on Fi is $20 in itself, right? And it's a hybrid type thing, because you have the $20 that you're going to pay for the unlimited talk and text, which they say is a prepaid side of their Flex plan. But then the data usage is postpaid style type, because you got to get billed for what you use afterwards. So Mobile X is a better deal than Google Fi when you think about it, as far as the flexible type plans. Now, if you go into the unlimited plans, like I am happy that Google Fi upped the amount of priority data access than what they used to have before, because 22 gigabytes of priority data access back then, when it used to be $70 for unlimited plus and $60 for simply unlimited, it just didn't make sense to have 22 gigs of priority data access and be slowed down. And I used to have my head up my ass back then, because I always have home Wi-Fi access. But with the pandemic and the place that I used to live at, honestly, we lost our home. Everybody in that apartment complex pretty much got the boot, even though we were paying our rent on time, or maybe like a day late, so there's like a 5-day grace period, and maybe on the 6th day I paid my rent, so it's like a day late. They just decided to boot everybody else out of those apartment complexes. So I don't live on the east side of Phoenix anymore. And moving and all that stuff, having to get Wi-Fi access and whatnot, I had to wait. Like it was like a month before I got Wi-Fi, in the second place that I moved into. And because I had to wait a month, I was strictly relying on my mobile phone service. And Google Fi, I killed that out in like 10 days. 10 days, I had already crossed 22 gigs. So, with that being said, 22 gigs wasn't working. So when they said that they upped the amount of priority data access that customers were getting, I was like, yes, finally. And of course, the first thing I heard about was 50 gigs because that's what they're going to push down everyone's throat is like priority data access is at 50 gigs. But you got to be on the Unlimited Plus, which is now $65. So they only reduced the Unlimited Plus plan by $5. They reduced the Simply Unlimited by $10. And I was like, why couldn't they just reduce the Unlimited Plus by $10? Why only 5? Like, that's a little greedy, considering that Google has a lot of different services that people are paying for in order to be able to use. Like, you couldn't take off $10 off the Unlimited Plus. That to me was just like one of the things that kind of irked the hell out of me about Google Fi and my decision to kind of drop them as a provider I was using. Yeah, you get the fancy stuff, right? You get like the VPN access, which now also, if you have Google One subscription, and I think they rolled it out to not just the 1 terabyte plan, but to all of them, you can use Google VPN without needing to get Google Fi to have that if you already pay for your Google One subscription. Which, like, if it's on all the plans, it means the cheapest plan on Google One is $1.99 for 100 gigabytes cloud, plus all the hotel, 40% off hotel packages and all that stuff. You get that with Google One. And you also get, Magic Eraser and be able to blur your photo backgrounds, in Google Photos with that subscription. So you don't need a Pixel to be able to do that anymore. So it was like, okay, VPN, like, okay, cool. Spam block, you pretty much get that with the Google Phone app, right? So on a Samsung Galaxy, you can download the Google Phone app, and it's not as good as it is on the Google Pixels as far as intercepting spam calls and stuff like that, much less having, screen call and all that stuff. But you can still have some form of it, especially with Google Messages. Google Messages, yeah, you can have it, auto spam catch and block. My Pixel is just fine, sitting right here. Still using it. It's actually funny now because, like, I do have Snapchat. I know I'm like 40 years old. What the fuck am I doing with Snapchat? But hey, that's what it is. My wife uses it. And so I found out that you can get the Bitmoji from your Snapchat watch face on your Pixel Watch. So now I have that on my Pixel Watch. And battery is okay. Like, some people argue with me about it. Well, they argue. I don't fucking argue with anybody. Like, if you're going to get mad over how I use my stuff, I'll just let you like talk your shit to me, and I'll just sit back and just listen, like read the comments and read the funny shit that goes on. I told somebody, what was it, a couple of months ago, that my battery life with the Pixel Watch is different than what a lot of people's experiences is, right? And it's not that I'm like some gladiator with Google Pixel phones and like Google loves me, so they send me the best of everything. Like, no. Because this was gifted by the community, right? Ricky, Carlos, and everybody else in the tech community gifted me the Pixel Watch and the Pixel 7 last year. So it came from them. But it's how I set up my watch, right? Like, if I'm walking around, I don't need the time displayed every second as I'm walking around if I'm not looking at the display. And that was the point I was making to a certain somebody who'll probably get triggered and come talk some more shit to me. But I said, I don't keep always on display on my Pixel Watch, because if I'm walking around, if I'm walking with my wife and we're talking, I'm not looking to see what time it is. So why the hell do I have it displaying? I don't have it displayed on. I have the motion triggers off. So if I flick my wrist, it's not going to turn the time on. The only way the time's going to come on is if I tap it. So it's a for sure thing that I want the screen lit up to see what's on the display by me tapping it, and not an accidental, awakening that shook my hand. So I have those off, which has really extended the battery life because I get about a day and a half of battery on my Pixel Watch, and then I charge it. But the other big thing is that it's not killing me that, each day I take the watch off to charge, because technically when I go and I take a hot shower, the watch will be on the charger. And by the time I come out of the shower, like if I put it on the charger at like 25% and I take my shower and, get cleaned up and everything like that, trim up so it's not like bushy, because I'm Asian, I can't grow full beard, so I try to keep it trimmed like slightly small so it doesn't look terrible. And by the time I get the shower, it's 100% charged. So I don't mind charging my watch every day. Everyone's different. So I'm not saying that it's the best smartwatch in the world, because I'm not saying that. But how I use my smartwatch, it works for me, and it triggers people how I use my smartwatch. Like, why the fuck are you guys getting triggered on how I use something? If you ain't using it and it ain't bothering you, then why does it bother you if I'm using it? But that's for another rant. Who needs a watch? Yeah, he has glass. I wish I had. You know what? I'm so sad to hear that Google Glass is like going away. I didn't even know there was still support for Google Glass. Shocked the hell out of me to find out it was still being supported in 2023 for a while. Anyways, getting back to the topic of Google Fi. So there's not a lot that they're giving customers, right? But they're asking for a whole lot. In my opinion, that's a lot. I know several people that have Google Fi, and they're like, I got the money to pay for it. It doesn't seem expensive for me. Like, that's great. But we're not all set at the same income. We're not making the same hourly rate. Some of us are salaried. Some of us are hourly. Like, there's all types of people come from all different walks of life. That's the type of person I am when I talk about tech on YouTube. I don't look at my own and say mine's the standard. And I don't look at anybody else and just say they're the fucking golden standard. I understand people come from all different walks of life. And so when I talk, even though I'm winging it because I don't write shit down, this is not scripted stuff. This is just me winging it with my ADHD as my ally, so I can think fast. I literally, I just look at it from multiple people's perspectives and lifestyles to give me what I'm going to say and how I'm going to pitch it and how I'm going to say it. And also give recognition on that. Yes. You've watched my live streams before, huh? Where I talked about that, where I said that they should have included YouTube Premium as a subscription base free to Google Fi subscribers, like have that lumped up in there. Like the stuff that they give with the Pixel Pass should be given in Google Fi, minus the devices. Okay. So all the features, right? The Google One, the YouTube subscription, all that should be lumped in along with unlimited talk and text. And I think Simply Unlimited and Unlimited Plus should both have a 50 gigabyte cap. If they need to have a cap on there, I feel like that both of them should have it, not just one. Because Simply Unlimited has a 35 gig cap, which I was just like, that was left scratching my head. Like, what the hell? So for $15 more, you get 50 gigs more access. Like, that don't make sense, because the Unlimited Plus plan, I feel like that should be something up for business travelers, right? Like Google's demographic for their Unlimited Plus, they should just call it Unlimited Business. Get rid of the Unlimited Plus name, call it Unlimited Business, and target businesses, right? Because then businesses where people that work within the corporations or within the company that do a lot of global traveling, Google Fi will work for them. That's like probably one of the best international plans you can have, right? You go with AT&T, you got to activate an international plan, and it's pretty much limited to what you can do. Same with T-Mobile, same with Verizon. Verizon has one, but they're all very limited, right? Google Fi just works. There are countless YouTube videos, because I'm a nerd, and I type in Google Fi in the search to see how many videos of people talking about Google Fi, and I do the same thing for Boost Infinite, and Verizon, Visible. And I like to see what other content creators are talking about, because the MVNO prepaid and sometimes carriers, I don't really focus too much on postpaid, because like there's a lot of people that pretty much talk about that, but not enough attention given to prepaids and MVNOs. So that's like my main bread here on the channel, as well as Pixels, Google Pixel phones and stuff like that. I like to talk about them because I love using them. But when I look at what carriers have and what options are there for international usage, Google Fi just stands out as the best. There's a lot of Google Fi videos where people have tested using theirs overseas. Now, some of them, and I've noticed that the negative ones where someone has been out of the country for almost a year. Like there was like one video where the guy was like stressed because he had left the US, and I think he was in Thailand or China, but he was going to be there for 2 years on business. He wasn't living there per se, but he was going to be there for 2 years and go back. He got Google Fi because it was said to work, right? I think it was China, because he was talking about how it gets over what's called in the digital world, the Great Wall of China. Not the actual Great Wall, but their what's it called, firewall that stops their people on their internet from accessing sites like Facebook and stuff like that they don't want them to view. But you can still view it if you have Google Fi. I mean, whatever agreement that Google and these countries made allows them to go over that firewall and be able to access things like Google Drive, which wasn't accessible at in China and stuff like that. And so it just works. And people have shown themselves, like they'll be on an airplane, they'll whip out their camera, record a video of their phone, automatically switching and saying, "Welcome to Russia." And then they cross, from Russia into like, China air, like we're crossing the border between Russia and China. And then they'll be like, "Welcome to China." And it just shows out on the screen, right? It just works. There's no, you don't have to power off your phone, power back on. You don't have to airplane mode it. You don't have to do none of that stuff, right? Unless you're running into like issues, then do those things. But naturally, you don't have to. It just starts working. So a lot of people travel. Business people travel. There's companies that do business dealings overseas, internationally with other companies. And that's where the Unlimited Plus plan could be used and directed towards a demographic that has to do with business and business travelers, right? And then Simply Unlimited can be, because it's all domestic. It's not, there's no international calling and stuff like that. That could be for us local American consumers, because not every single person in the United States is calling overseas. Now, you have people that have family overseas, and they will call. And that's where the Unlimited Business, Unlimited Plus would come into play, because you can call certain countries, unlimited talk and text. Stupid fly just like flew right into my face. What the hell? Sometimes they have promos like that, Zach. Sometimes if you buy a Google Pixel phone, like you get YouTube Premium for 3 months free. I've taken advantage of that only because that promo actually sticks with Google Pixels. So like I've noticed, like if you buy like a Google Pixel and they're like, buy a brand new Pixel and you get 3 months free of YouTube Premium. And then if I was to wipe this phone and send this to you, and then you got the phone from me, you set it up, logged into your Google account, your Google account will recognize that this Pixel 7 is new to you, and it'll offer you the same 3 months. That's also something that's pretty cool about Google that I like. They don't try to stop those things, right? Because just imagine if they tried to do it by IMEIs. Oh man, that would suck. So every time that I bought not a brand new, but like a used Pixel from OfferUp and stuff like that, that YouTube Premium, like 1 month free or 3 months free, has always hit me after I've signed into my Google account, got everything on the phone set up, launched YouTube, and that's like the promo that pops up before it gets right to YouTube, and then I take advantage of it. So, I mean, you can't do it like back to back. I mean, you gotta space them out, right? So I think it was like 6 months. I think it's the farthest I spaced it out. Well, no, not farthest, but shortest I spaced it out, and then that way I was given a promo. But anyhow. Yeah, so those people that do call overseas, they can move their plan up to the Unlimited Plus /business. Those people that don't call overseas can take advantage and have unlimited talk and text, 50 gigs of priority data access, load for the rest of the bill cycle. Keep it that way, so that way T-Mobile doesn't feel like Google Fi is superly competing with them, and then try to kick them off their network, because I just don't trust T-Mobile. Like everyone is like, it's a good deal between Mint Mobile and T-Mobile, like T-Mobile buying Mint Mobile and Ultra Mobile. And to me, I don't trust them. They say they're not going to do anything. They're like, oh, it's going to stay the same. We're going to have the same price plans. Ryan Reynolds is going to be the face of the company, and he's still going to do his thing. Like, okay, I would love that if that's exactly how it's going to be. But I just don't trust T-Mobile. I don't trust Mike Sievert, because they said things too, like the merger is going to give more jobs and take away jobs, and then they've been shutting down Metro by T-Mobile stores and letting people go, and that's for a different topic. But yeah, so the Simply Unlimited could just be like a domestic unlimited plan for U.S. users, and that would be it. Like $50, which a lot of people have gotten accustomed to. Because it is an MVNO, I honestly feel like that taxes and fees should be included with Google Fi, because people are trying to save money. Unless they want to change it. Now, this is what I would do. Let's just get into what I would do if I was running Google Fi and making the decisions, and was able to broker the deal. Mobile say shut up and get out of my business, and just I pay them to access their network, let my customers access their network, and that's it. But I would come up with a plan to make Google Fi at least enticing to some people to want to subscribe to it. It's $50 for the unlimited plus. Okay, $50 for the unlimited plus, and I would knock it to 35, 15 off going simply unlimited, which is $10 more than Boost Infinite, but you're going to get some perks in that because we would give YouTube Premium in there. You would get that. You would get the Google VPN. You would get, of course, the setup for account. Like if you do a family plan, then you get the Google the family link, which allows you to protect your children's line on your family plan. You get that. I said YouTube Premium. I said Google VPN, spam block on both messages and on the what do you call it? The phone calls, right? So you don't have to worry about spam calls, because that's one of the things that's another thing that pissed a lot of people off going to Boost Infinite. And like I can tell people from my years working in contact centers and knowing how phone numbers are recycled and stuff like that. The spam calls that people are going to be facing right now, especially right now, is because we don't know how much information was taken during that cyber attack to Boost Infinite. And like I said, while they have the systems held for ransom at the time, and they were ciphering customers' info more than likely, they also take that information and they sell it on the dark web to different companies out there that do these scam calls, right? So like the call centers in India that do these scam calls, they sell the numbers to them, and then they go and they just randomly call all these numbers and try to fool you into thinking that they're the IRS or creditors or anything like that to make you pay money up. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people are complaining, like, since the attack, I've been getting a lot of spam calls. Like, yeah, you're going to get them. I don't experience them because Google Pixel has that block. So my phone never rings. I think and I noticed if it's a phone number that my Pixel is unsure, it will call screen. It will pop up to let me tap call screen. It'll screen the call, or it'll auto screen the call. And I get to see what happens on that call. If the person starts talking and says, hey, this is so-and-so from this looking for, and they say my name and the reason why they're calling, I can just tap to enter the call and just talk to the person. If they hang up before my Google Assistant finishes its statement about you've called the line that has call screening, please say the reason why. If they hang up right there, spam. I've noticed lately that every time I do live streams and I talk, my throat just gets bad. Old age, I guess. I can't really talk very long anymore. But yeah. And then, because they have the Pixel A series pass is what I call it, where you subscribe, you pay, I think it's like $9 a month for the the Pixel, the latest Pixel A series. And if you want insurance protection on it, then it comes up to $15 a month, but you could do that. And I feel like that since they already have something like that they give you for being a Google Fi customer, you get like, I don't know, like a 25% off accessories if you buy a Google Pixel along with your Google Fi service, 25-30% off, something like that. But I mean, the ultimate thing there is that I want the dramatic price drop. I don't want to be paying $65 plus tax that pushes it back up to $70 for me in my state. Other states have really high state tax. So, they could be paying $65 for unlimited plus and their bill comes out and it's like $79 because taxes and whatever state taxes and all that other stuff that goes into it. It's pretty bad. So yeah. That's what I would do. $50 for unlimited plus, $35 for simply unlimited, and then $20. I would knock that down to $10. So $10 for unlimited talk and text, and like $2 per gig of data used on the Flex. Let's drop prices everywhere, not just on the unlimited plans, but on the Flex plans. Give people savings. We need the savings these days. We need them. A lot of these prepaid companies are starting to get the point that people are going to go where it costs cheaper. Like people will deal with throttles and deprioritizations if the price is cheaper. Like if you were given the option to have a plan and it was going to give you, it's an unlimited plan, so unlimited talk and text, and they were to give you 30 gigs of fast priority data access, and then you're throttled for the rest of your bill cycle. If company A gave you that plan at $50 a month and company B gave it to you at $25 a month, which are you likely to take if they were the only options you had? Which one? It's a no-brainer. We're going to choose the $25 plan. It's cheaper. And that's why people are trying out Boost Infinite and Mobile X and Tello and Red Pocket and all these other ones that are, some of them are customizable, build your perfect plan type, because people are trying to save money. Not everybody's made of money. We all have different walks in life, right? The wealthy people don't got to worry. I don't even think they know how much their cell phone bill costs with all the bells and whistles of services they got, you know? Yeah, Boost Australia has a very interesting plan structure on how it is. And I noticed that a lot of international countries from the U.S., because to Australia would be, would be local to you. We would be an international country to Australia, but I've noticed that a lot of international countries compared to the United States is service plans and stuff, they don't really go after like the whole pitch of unlimited, use as much as you want type of thing. They have limitations to it, but the limitations and how they and I think that's what would help like Mobile X here, and it would help Google Fi with their Flex plan. But it's the verbiage of how you present the pay for what you need type of thing. Coffee7, who's like a longtime supporter of the channel, who comes in during the day when I'm live streaming, because it's like in the afternoon, evening where he's at when I'm live streaming. But anyways, he says that in his country where he lives at, which I forgot the name of his country. I know it's in Europe, but his country, they got plans. I think it's like 10 gigabytes of data and unlimited talk and text. But it's kind of weird how the plan works, because the way he was explaining it is like for him, his plan, because like they have bundles of like social network sites. So like you get like an unlimited talk, 10 gigabytes of data, and you got option A that gives you Facebook and Twitter. Option B gives you YouTube and Twitter. Option C gives you Facebook and YouTube. And so like those social platforms, as you use them, will not count as data usage taken from your data pool, which I think that type of style would be badass here. If I had my own service provider, like my own towers built, I don't want to be an MVNO. I want to be an MNO. But if I was an MNO owner, had my own network, started my own business, I don't know what the hell I would call the name of the brand. I'm not gonna call it Aloha Mobile or anything like that. That's so generic. That's like slap me in the face with a pineapple pizza. But I'll have a snazzy name to it. But I think I can kick the asses of like Verizon and everybody else for two things. One, if I hired smart engineers to build out my network, to build it correctly, and to go step by step. So I would have like on my engineering team that would pretty much like tell my engineers how to go out there and build these towers. I would have Ricky, who's in the chat. I would have Sneed. I would have Carlos, be that counsel that tells these guys like how to do it, right? Because they're very knowledgeable in the 5G build out, and they know what's going to work to build out 5G. So, but then for plans, I would do the same thing as what they do where coffee's from. I would have like a basic users plan. I would have needs more plan, and I would have a content creators plan and a business plan. The content creators plan is obviously going to lump applications like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then I would probably do a poll on Twitter to find out every creator's favorite on-device editing app for editing quick on-the-fly videos to upload to their channels. And so let's say, like hypothetically speaking, let's say it's CapCut, right? Then I would lump CapCut in there. So those apps using data on the customer's plan would not count towards their data pool, and give a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 gig data plan. And yes, it would be cheap as hell. So I know I'm reaching here, and it's somebody who's gonna hear this is gonna be like, dude, that's impossible. Like, you're gonna be paying out the wazoo, but no, not really. because I would pull in more customers. I would cause massive. I would be the person that gave Verizon their first massive churn percentage number that really just makes them sweat and shit their pants. Because I want to give more to the customers, because you give more to the customers, word of mouth. So I wouldn't invest a whole lot in advertisement, because word of mouth is what's going to get people to come over. That's what happened with Visible. For those people who don't know, Visible literally used word of mouth to get a lot of people hip to what Visible was, and then they started doing a lot more advertisements. Carlos is in here. Hey Tito, you want a free mint line? Text me. I have a yeah, I'll text you later, because my daughter has mine that I got from the that influencer company partnership. But yeah, I can use another one. I'll text you later. Um, yeah. But anyways, but like that's how I would do it. So like content creator plan would, like, you can get like 10. Well, let's not go 30, because then most people use like YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. So they really wouldn't be using their data pool. So if they got a plan that costed let's say $8.99 for 10 gigs of data, unlimited talk and text, with creators apps such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and editor apps like CapCut and all them, did not count against your data pool, right? Basic customers plan would, basically give like a browser like DuckDuckGo not to be counted against your data pool, right? But if you use Chrome browser or any other browser, then yeah, it would count against your data pool. You know what I mean? That's the type of like packages I would have as an MNO in this country. I think that would be beneficial to a lot of people here. And it would certainly get rid of the narrative that you have to have fully unlimited, because that's the last plan that I would give. And that would be my $50 plan, is the full unlimited, like, and not unlimited deprioed here, unlimited throttled here. It's just like unlimited. I would be the one to break that and just actually give full unlimited access. Of course, I would have to have a badass network built out across the United States, because it's going to be hella freaking trafficked and congested. Could you imagine that everybody, they say every American person with a mobile phone switched over to my service? Ooh, man. I would, yeah, yeah. But as is me, I like to give. I like to give. So I'm not worried about becoming a billionaire or a millionaire if I have my own phone company. I just want to be able to do YouTube videos still, and make content and go live. And I would be on my own service doing that. So that would be my thing. But Google Fi, they really got to lower their plans some more, and they got to stop differentiating 35 gigs for simply unlimited, 50 gigs for unlimited plus. Really just convert unlimited plus to a business plan for those people who travel, because that's who mostly travels. And the cool part about it is, with Google Fi, if they were to do that, is that you have your basic customers on simply unlimited, and they're paying, what did I say they were going to be paying if I had my way? $35. That's right. Since they want to do 15 between simply unlimited and unlimited plus right now, then I'll be a dickhead and say that if I had it my way, simply unlimited would be 35 and unlimited plus would be $50, so $15 difference. But I would say, you know, that if you were on the Simply Unlimited and you were going to travel, you can just auto move yourself up to the Unlimited Plus slash business and be able to use your phone internationally. If you're someone that calls family, you have family outside of the country, and you call them a lot, then put you on that Unlimited Plus. If you are a business, then we'll put you on the Unlimited Business, which are the same plans. It's just one is for business. And of course, to make it even more enticing for more businesses to sign up to use Google Fi for international traveling, like business companies, that partner with them get, a percentage off the bill. So if I come in with my own company, say I have my own company and whatnot, and I opened up a business account and said that I wanted 200 lines, just, not being accurate, just spitballing. Then, because I open up 200 lines on a business line, then they can give me a 15% discount every month on the phone bill that I got to pay. That would be my thing. So Later on tonight, I'm going to go ahead and do the Google Fi 7-day trial. I'm going to screen record the setup, of course, edit out all the personal information stuff, and probably have that video either tomorrow afternoon or Monday at noon or something like that. Fairly simple, and it looks like it does have to be eSIM. That they will not send you out a physical SIM. It has to be eSIM, so you have to have an eSIM compatible device in order to be able to do it. And it looks like that the default plan that you go on after the 7-day trial is the $50 Simply Unlimited. But in that 7-day trial, you got to remember there's only 10 gigabytes of priority data access. If you pass that before the 7 days is up, you'll be throttled. So if you want to know how the services is throttled, this is probably for like those people who are interested in Google Fi, and you're like, I don't know, how slow are their speeds when they're throttled? Then burn 7 gigs halfway through your 7-day trial, and then use the other half of your 7-day trial on their throttled speeds, and you'll know how the services will be. Cancel before the 7 days is up. Please remember that. Don't cancel on the 7th day because they're gonna charge your payment method on that 7th day. Cancel on the 6th day, so you know they're not going to charge you. I'll emphasize that. Do not cancel on day 7. Cancel on day 6 before the 7th day, so they know to stop the service on the 7th day. So you're not going to get charged for $50 for the whole thing. But here's the big kicker. I'm gonna before I end this live stream, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now. It is a little bit of an extended trial compared to what they had. They never called it a trial, but they kind of did have a trial before. It was kind of stupid how they did it, because if you signed up, like before this trial offer came, if you signed up for Google Fi today, you would get, say you did Simply Unlimited, you would get a $50 bill that would come up in 3 days from the day that you signed up with Fi, and then it would give you a due date. That due date it's like postpaid. It would be like 10 days out from the day that the charge had been placed on your bill. So, yeah, you can say that. The only difference is that you're not paying. That's where the 7-day trial comes in. You're not paying anything if you cancel before 7 days is up. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to. I already know how Google Fi pretty much is, but just to set it up for people so they can see how, because Google Fi, I think one of the things I love about them is it's so easy to set up with eSIM. It is easier than doing it with Visible. It is easier than doing it with Mint Mobile. It is easier than doing it with I can't say Boost Infinite because I don't have iPhone 14 Pro. I haven't done it on the iPhone 10s. That does have eSIM support, but I never done it on that. But because a lot of those ones require you to kind of like manually input your eSIM, so it'll download. And Google Fi just like once you choose to do eSIM, and it just does it on the Pixel. Does it on the Pixel, does it on the Samsung Galaxies that have eSIM support, I think. I don't know, because I never used a Samsung Galaxy on Google Fi, but some people I said that they did it, and it's the same way as the Pixels. But I know on the Pixels, it's easy. Google Fi, too expensive. I tried porting my T-Mobile line to Boost Infinite, kept getting an error, so I just added a second line to Boost Mobile. You're all right. I'm trying to save money as much as possible. Yeah, everyone is. I am too, dude. I am not a wealthy person. I don't even consider myself well off. If like the average American that's living comfortably, I'm like, and let's say like they're like a level 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, right? I'm a level like 2. I'm a paycheck to paychecker. I can give a fuck if someone makes fun of me for it. I don't care. I make money. I provide for my kids. That's all I'm here to do in this world. I do this because I love talking about tech. I love talking about the mobile tech industry and the MVNOs and prepaids. But I'm not here to be anything else. As like, somebody used to make fun of like how I looked, how and everything like that. Never bothered me. But anyways, yeah. So we're all trying to save money. We all are, because sometimes I feel like having a heart attack when my wife wants like a nice T-bone steak, because I'm the asshole that showed her that I can cook steak and screwed myself. I used to hide the fact that I can cook because I like her cooking. And then one day I decided I wanted to do something nice for her, and I made her a steak, and then she absolutely loved the way I made it. So now anytime it's steak night for dinner, I'm fucked because I'm the one that has to cook it. And but when she buys steak, T-bone steak, I nearly die of a heart attack. Luckily, she buys it from the company that she works for. Because if she bought it from anywhere else, you would get like what, like four, let's say four slabs of T-bone steaks would like cost me $70. Four, a pack of four slabs, and not the tiny ones, but the actual near 2 inch cut thick T-bones. $70 for that. Like that's crazy. I'm I'm like dying when we go to like ring up our food and pay and check out because I'll scan everything else. Everything else is like kind of expensive. Yeah, Arnold Palmer, which is half tea, half lemonade. For those who don't know, but like I get a jug of that. It's like $3. I get a gallon of milk. It's like $3.79. I get cheese. It's like $4.59. I'm like already like having a heart attack from that. And then as soon as when it comes to like the meat, steak, pork, chicken. It's like steak, $70, pork, $39, and chicken, like $50. Like what? And that's like that can only be used for 6 nights, right? Because each of the packs that I buy is enough meat to split into two different meals, except for the steak. And I get screwed. And I'm just like, I want to die of a heart attack because of how much money I spend. Like I literally spend about $700 to $800 a month on groceries. That's my money and my wife's money combined, right? And on top of that, paying $1,200 a month in rent and paying other things. I think it's like $359 a month in electricity. Like that adds up. I rarely have money for myself. You know what I mean? And then whatever I make off here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram, because I make money on those three platforms, I give those to my whatever I give them to my kids is like if they want to go to the park and have ice cream afterwards, or go to McDonald's, or they want to go to like the Mexican restaurant here. There's several of them, like Los Reyes de la Torta. That's a good restaurant here. But if they want to go eat after the park, that's money for them to go eat at, go get something to eat after the park. They want to go to, the Sky Zone or, like those trampoline places. That's money for them to go. That's what I use the money on. Like, so super chats, AdSense, all that stuff goes to them. Facebook and what they pay me per month goes to them. Instagram, what they pay me per month goes to them. Like, that's what I do. That's extra money for my kids. If they need a new backpack, if they need new shoes, that goes to them. That's what it's for. That's why I do this on the side. The fact that I get to go ahead and talk about tech, which I love doing, and the fact that I can make money from YouTube advertisement and Facebook advertisement and Instagram advertisement, and that money can go to my kids, that helps out a lot. So, but I don't go around really asking for a lot of donations. I don't. Sometimes I'll bring it up, especially like if I know I'm going to get impacted by something. You might hear me actually mention donos, but I don't do it all the time just because like the revenue from the ads it's working out okay. I don't trust it, Brian. I don't. So like I know people are like talking about it. I know Sneed's been like excited about it, and like that's the cool thing about my friendship with Sneed. I can disagree with him, and he's not going to exile me. But like I'm not as enthusiastic as he is. Like what he's saying of how it's going to go down, I wish that to be facts, like 100% facts. But T-Mobile has a track record of lying to people, and that's what I get worried about. They say now they're not going to change nothing about Mint Mobile. Everything's going to stay the same, just like how they said that with the merger with Sprint was going to create new jobs, and no one was going to be let go because they were going to add more jobs and not decrease jobs. And here they went closing down Metro stores, T-Mobile stores, and such. So, like, I'll wait 6 months, maybe a year before I'll say, hey, the buyout of Mint and Ultra was a good thing. Right now, I'm just watching with skeptical eyes. And nothing against T-Mobile. I don't hate T-Mobile. I don't. I just seen and read what they do and how they do business. And when you have a company that will do that, you have a company that, doesn't even invest in cybersecurity, right? Everyone made a big deal about Boost Infinite being cyber attacked once. T-Mobile was like beyond 6 times. There's 6 I know of. It could be 7, 8, or 9. It could be 10 times that they've been attacked and hacked and customers' information has been taken. And I'm like, once, okay, twice, Time for you guys to really get on the ball there. There should be no 3 times. In that close. Like T-Mobile's been hacked in close proximity of time. So it hasn't been like once in 2009, once in 2012, once in 2017, once in 2023. No. The ones I've heard of is like 3 or 4 times they've been hacked in the last 3 years. I've heard about. So that's what I've heard. So at the end of the day, yeah, T-Mobile's really got to start taking some of that cheddar and like put it towards cybersecurity. They really need to do that. Just like Boost Infinite better learn from their damn mistake. However this went down, they need to make sure that that's secured. And if they have disgruntled employees, they got to make sure that they don't have access to these things. There should be a backup authenticator to anyone that has that type of position to actually get into servers that holds dish information. That's what I'm gonna say. How can I order a Mobile X SIM card? Download the Mobile X app onto your phone, open it, sign up for it, and after you set up your service address, your payment method, and all that stuff, it's going to give you the option. Do you want to do eSIM or physical SIM? Choose physical SIM, and they'll mail you the SIM card. Once you get the SIM card, it'll have all the info on finishing activation. Just put the SIM card in your phone, have Wi-Fi on, and log into your Mobile X app. And then, but you also got to choose on which method you're going to do. They got the fake unlimited plans, which is the one that's mostly used. It's a $25, 30 gigabytes of high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. That one's $25 a month. You can go straight to that if you want. If you want to see how much data you use, you can do right now they have a promo. So you do the trial period, the 10-day trial period, which allows their AI to learn your habits on your smartphone and give you a prediction of how much data you would use in a month. You can choose to go with that, or you can choose the amount of data that you want to buy. That's up to you. But when you do the 10-day trial for the AI to configure your mobile data usage, after the 10 days is up, you get 30 days of service on Mobile X for coming to them and starting service with them. So you'll get a month free according to their site. Right now, I'm in limbo because of my Pixel 6. I reopened another Mobile X account, and I was going to do the trial and then get the 30 days. But when I chose eSIM, which is stupid to me, and so now my account is stuck because they can't get it activated. They can't figure out why that the eSIM profile won't be created for my Pixel 6. And I've chatted with them at their expert care chat app, and they said they're working on it today is the last message I got from them. And I'm not in a rush, so I'm not going to keep bombarding them with, hey, did you fix it now? Hey, did you fix it now? I'm not that type of person. Like, go ahead. Now, if that was going to be my primary line, yeah, I would kind of be on the ball. Like, hey, get my shit working. But I got 3 lines on Boost, right? Boost Infinite, Boost One, which is a new prepaid version, and then Boost Legacy, which is the old T-Mobile Access prepaid version. I have those 3 lines currently right now, 3 Boost mobile lines. So I'm not hurting to use a phone for anything. That's me. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Those are on the replay crew, #replay crew, hashtag Project Fi. So I know you made it all the way to the end. And of course, I know some people don't make it all the way to the end. They still do the hashtag, but that's because they'll watch 3 minutes of it, and then they'll fast forward all the way to the last 5 minutes of the live stream, and then they'll get that and put Project Fi. I watched it all the way through. I can see how long people watch videos of mine through the analytics on Studios. Trust me. I know when people are bullshitting. You know what I mean? If 100 people said I watch your videos from beginning to end, and I go to my analytics and it's the average time that someone's watching my videos is 3 minutes and 59 seconds, and the last 10 videos I uploaded were all 8-minute videos, means you're cutting out before. Good old Project Fi, now known as Google Fi, now is stupid, and their pricing stupid. And yeah, I'm very vocal about Google Fi because I really, really, really believe the company could be so much more if they would just find the leader of their group and, gently remove his head out of his asshole and place it firmly back on his neck, and have him actually put out polls and ask your customers on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Put polls out and get your customers' feedback and use that to help you position your company to be better. I know that they're passive. They don't want to compete against T-Mobile because they're using their network, but you don't really need to compete against T-Mobile, but you need to have a better offering for people to come, especially nowadays. Like you see things, T-Mobile, 4 lines for $25, right? Verizon doing, I think Verizon's a $25 line for like multiple line access, right? They're all doing it. They're all doing it for a reason because they know people want cheaper. And that's where Google Fi needs to go. So they need to contact Mike Sievert, who Sneak calls Sweaty Armpits, renegotiate their deal if they can, and get us better pricing. That's my opinion. But thanks for checking this out, and I'll talk to you on the next one.